Hello and welcome viewers, you're watching MSTV. My name is Vardhan Singh and the show is Rubaroo. I don't have any other thing to say about the show because I have repeated myself for I don't know for how many times. So let's cut to the chase. Let's welcome today's guest, Mrs. Veena Chauhan Tzotzolaki. I actually put that emphasis on that surname because I tried my level best not to mispronounce it. And the smile that you can see on my face is because of the guest today, because she has a really contagious smile and a personality as well. Let's not waste any more time and go to her and talk to her about her life, which has a lot many names like different countries. But finally, India is there, so let's talk to her. Hello and welcome, ma'am.
Hello, welcome.
Pranam.
Welcome, yeah, hello, yeah.
That goes both ways, no? You're welcoming me, okay, you want to interview me?
Indeed, I'm happy to be welcomed.
So, can I call you Veena ji? That works?
You can call me Veena straight too, I don't have a problem. But I mean, if you like Veena ji, yeah, go on.
G comes from within because it's about that inherited quality of giving respect, no? And we consider G as... You understand G?
I do.
Okay, because you have your Indian roots.
I have Indian roots. Although I've never lived in India, I'm of Indian origin, Punjabi, both of my parents. But unfortunately for me, I wasn't actually raised here, which is the reason why my Punjabi is absolutely terrible. Okay. And my Hindi almost non-existent. But anyways, that's another story. And I was born and raised in the UK. I was actually, the majority of my childhood was in Birmingham.
Okay.
Way before it became trendy. So there was no Peaky Blinders series going on the TV. Peaky Blinders. There was none of that going on there at the time. We just had the accent without the Peaky Blinder bit. I was raised there. I went to university in Manchester. I'm an economist by education. It's something that I've developed in terms of business development that I've been doing around the globe to some extent, depending on which decade of my life I was in. And I also studied several European languages, including French, Italian, and German. Of course, that didn't help. The fact that I met a Greek man and I actually married a Greek man and I couldn't speak to him in French, German, or any other language. Name? His name is Manolis.
Manolis. Does it have a meaning of it, the name? Like?
Manolis is the nickname for Emmanuel. And Emmanuel is the Greek Orthodox version of Emmanuel. So Emmanuel is actually, it's quite musical. And Manolis is Manolis, yeah.
That's nice. Like they just mentioned that in different decades of your life, different countries were there. You mentioned before the interview, India also appeared. I think in the early 20s or late 20s it was there, right?
Exactly. In my 20s, I was actually based in Paris and I was working for telecom companies, France Telecom Mobile and Alcatel Mobile. And during that time, I was actually managing business developments for Asia. And for those particular companies, Asia in those days was like anywhere between Afghanistan and Australia. And I would be traveling a lot.
Great comparison.
I know, but I mean, that was the region that they just kind of dump it on her. I was young too, younger. And I was in many of the countries, including obviously India, which was my favorite at the time. Obviously, due to my own history, my personal history. And because so much was happening, it was the time where the first GSM licenses had been given. And so there was a rollout of the Delhi GSM network that was taking place, what is now called Airtel.
Bharti Airtel, it was.
That was it, Bharti Airtel, and it was the family, obviously. And so I was here for about 6 months, back and forth between Paris and here, but I was working on several bids for infrastructure that was carried out, yeah.
Okay. I have a question of like, I don't know how to phrase it, so it might take a really long time for me to do that, but yeah, I'll go with it. Yes, we'll go for that. See, we have our own value system, we have our belief system, and it comes out of the culture that we belong to. So your roots are from India, you are a UK citizen, okay? So when we grow up, that cultural part, that value system plays a very important role, how we look at the world and how we approach it. The way we approach it, we choose our like, professions and everything. So did like coming from India or having some roots from here, did it change something, or you were able to understand it at any point of time? Okay, this is something which I'm getting from there. That's the reason why I have this certain sort of approach for a particular thing, or like business or anything.
It's a very, very good question. You know, how much is DNA and how much is you know, the way in which you're raised or whatever. I think a lot of it's to do with character as well. For sure, I was raised in a family that was very, you know, oriented towards the family. It was the extended family too, and this also, I think, it affected the friendships. So, you know, friendships. These now the people that you start to choose yourself that you want to have in your life. But yeah, there was a lot of love around me, and I hope that this is something that I also myself have, you know, transmitted to those that have come in and out of my life. From an early age, I had understood, or I had the jitterbug. I had this, you know, like the ants in your pants, and I could feel that I was going to be traveling, I was going to be moving. Back in the 80s, it wasn't easy for a Punjabi girl to leave her home, leave her hometown, and go and study in another city, which basically meant that I left home at 18 years old. That was quite pioneering, and so my parents were they were very courageous to allow me to do that. Obviously, they trusted me fully too. But from an early age, it was clear that I was on a path and I was going forward, and that path not necessarily would bring me back to what used to be my home, because from 18 years old, I never actually went back to live permanently in Birmingham. I was in Manchester, then I left for Europe, and then in the last 24 years, I've been based in Greece. So now when it comes to my approach towards business, my approach towards work, colleagues or whatever, I think that my approach has always been openness. I'm an open character. I don't like playing games. I don't like playing theatre. I know that sometimes you have to in business. I'm not very good at it. And that's just the way it is. So if I'm going to be doing a business project, and if it's going to be successful, and to bring out the best in me, it needs to hopefully, you know, be with people that have similar culture to myself. I would say that Greeks and Indians are very, very similar, extremely similar, because there's the family orientation, there's the community, they're open people, they speak from their hearts. You know, and there's a lot of emotion too, you know, so there's like that kind of like masala in the characters, you know, you're happy, you're overly happy, you're sad, you're very, very sad. They're people that have a culture of music, a culture of dance, you know, and there's an intellectual culture there as well. So I see those similarities, and for me, that makes this whole mission right now of opening the gateway, so basically allowing Greece to become a portal for Indian people, whether it's to do with holidaying in Greece, you know, trying a new place, new culture, whether it's to do with bringing business or investing or wanting a new home, whatever. I think Greece really fits in very, very well to the Indian psyche and the Indian mentality, a lot more than many other countries.
When you were mentioning about all the similarities that India and Greece, they have, the people basically they have, I was curious about the thing we were talking before the interview as well, that for a really long time Greece was never on the checklist for Indians, and looking at Greece from the perspective of going out there doing the business and for the other things as well was not actually a thing. Then suddenly the Bollywood started pushing towards Greece, the locations and everything, and then people started talking about Greece. But the way you mentioned so many similarities, so what took it so long for Indians to discover Greece from this approach?
Well, yeah, again, that's another brilliant question there. You're full of brilliant questions, aren't you, today?
Thank you so much for trying my level best. I don't know whether you being a bit truthful right now or just making me feel good.
No, I'm being serious. No, because it's a question that we've been asking ourselves. That's why it's so relevant. You know, so what happened? Why wasn't, you know, Greece on the map? Also because, you know, with Prime Minister Modi coming over recently and saying we have so much in common, our histories are in common, we're intertwined, right? So there was that heritage there, and it's been there for thousands of years. So what happened in the last, let's say more modern day history? Should we blame the British? You may have to cut that one. No. But I think that there's been the major focus from India and from Indians has been the Anglo-Saxon world. So it's been the UK, it's been the United States, it's been Canada, Australia, New Zealand. The focus
Middle
has
East,
been there.
basically.
Middle East, I think, is really kind of coming up now. The truth of the matter is that anybody I speak to here in the last few days has been talking to me about Dubai. Maybe it's so, it's catchy as Mumbai, Dubai, maybe,
I believe there's another reason behind that, because the whole development that has been done over there was not something which has been taken place since a really long time. It just started 20, 30 years back, or like 40 years back. It started in Dubai and especially the Middle East, and they developed their entire economy and each and everything in such a way that people will get attracted towards it for business, for tourism, for each and everything. That's the reason it's a booming industry. That's the reason it's a booming place. People look forward to visit that place and to be a part of that. That's the thing I believe. So, Veena ji, another question, basically, not just a question. I want to understand that India just hosted G20.
Yeah, well done. Congratulations. It had amazing coverage. I was watching from Greece, and I was watching Greek TV. I was watching BBC. I was watching CNN. And overall, from the coverage from the various countries was very positive. I think it was really, really well done.
Thank you so much for that. And I will look forward to convey your feelings to Narendra Modi ji if I'll ever get a chance to meet him in person. This G20 and this global awakening of India as a superpower, as emerging business hub for the entire world. How do you see the level of opportunities, not for India, but for rest of the world, to actually come and sit with India next to the people and to be a part of their business and to start the relations with India? Like, India has arrived that way. So how do you see where the things are right now at this point of time?
Well, I think that India was always there. It's not that it wasn't there. It was always there. And I think that whether it's the larger countries or the smaller countries, there was always interest in how can we work with India. But I think that the way things were, it just wasn't that easy to actually to work with Indian companies for various reasons. It's whether it's the capital, don't want to call it capital controls, but some restrictions, in terms of Indian companies wanting to come out of India, but also for non-Indian companies coming into India. Again, the procedures and the infrastructure wasn't as friendly as perhaps it needed to be, right? So now, however, from what we're hearing, from what we're being told, there is a simplification going on, and there's even an encouragement by Indian state and government to say that, hey, do your business here, absolutely, but don't be scared to go and look out for opportunities here outside, because that's what superpowers do.
Totally understood. It's just like market is open, everything is on the table. Go ahead, increase a bit.
Exactly.
Veena ji, you just established like India opened the gate, and that's what I meant when I said that India has arrived, because now India is there on the international portal. It's inviting investors from all across the globe. I just want to know how exactly you are working to be the bridge between Greece and India. What are the things and what are the different LOBs you will be looking forward to be a part of, to be working or getting the investment or making the people meet and do the business together?
So we're working across businesses and across industries. Just to set the scene a little bit, I've been over here in New Delhi for the last few days, together with a very prominent law firm from Greece. It's called Soufas and Associates Law Firm. I say very prominent. In fact, it's one of the largest law firms in Greece.
Okay.
In operations for the last 20 years, and this is a law firm that works across businesses, across industries, and they're the managing partners. They have an affiliation with India. They have a love of India, which has also been spanning over a couple of decades.
Okay.
So India's not new to them. For business potentially, yes, but not from a personal point of view. So we were over and we were platinum sponsors of the Grace exhibition, which is, now you're going to catch me out, global real estate and citizenship overseas or something like this.
I'm not here to actually correct you because I myself don't know more than that. We're on the same boat.
Yeah, no, I love the name Grace. So it's easy, obviously, to remember it that way. So we have been the platinum sponsors there, and our role was at this exposition that took place last Saturday, 16th of September at Le Meridian Hotel. Our role was to explain the benefits of investing in Greece in terms of, initially at least, for those that are looking for permanent residencies, secondary residencies, so a second home from home in Greece. And we were talking about the benefits of that. We were laying down a little bit the main prerequisites, showing how easy actually it is to do this now. But that's just like one door that we're opening, and from there the industries behind us, real estate, construction, renewable energy, pharmaceuticals, parapharma. I mean, the list really does kind of go on. And these are film production.
Okay.
Which is actually why I'm here today. So I was here today to discuss a crossover project, which is a project between India and Greece, and which has a crossover theme and cast, both Indians and Greeks. And I think it's an amazing storyline, a lot of fun. Of course, it's in pre-production stage, but it'll get out there. It'll be made. And then we'll be having our next interview when I'll be promoting it. But okay, now I'll go back.
Promoting the movie as like a producer or an actor?
No. Oh God, are you joking? As an actor? Actually, I've got a story to tell you afterwards about acting, because I did play in a Greek movie in 2009.
2009. Tell me something about it.
Oh. So I was talking about it a little bit earlier. I'm surprised I even remembered it. But it's called Sto Vathos Kipos. Sto Vathos Kipos, which means...
Sto Vathos Kipos.
Bravo.
Brava.
Elis in Ελλάδα. You've got to come to Greece, okay? With that accent, you can be doing your shows over there too. For sure. So in Sto Vathos Kipos, which means at the bottom of the garden, there is a storyline whereby a young couple, they get married, and then they're trying to have a child. And for some reason, she's just not getting pregnant. So this is a young Greek couple, right, in Athens. And he works in this bookstore. And he's got this colleague who's really bubbly, really nice person, and she's Indian origin.
Okay.
Moi.
Self-establishment. That is a really good one.
And she gives him this fantastic advice based on the experience that her grandfather had when he had the same problem back in the Punjab in the day. She gives him this fantastic advice of digging a hole in the bottom of his garden where he needs to plant a tree with his own hands. So I'm saying that because this was like a line in the film that kept getting repeated, with your own hands. So, and
is there anything special with that, like
with their own hands?
With the one hand thing?
No, not particularly. But in the particular film, my hands were shot a lot, so you saw my hands all over the place. My hands were here, my hands were there. But no, it's not. that was more like a play of words, I think, that the original script writer had.
Okay.
Anyway, long story short, she gives him this brilliant advice, and every time that he's digging a hole, and one dead body after another kind of keeps being found in this hole. It's dark humor. It's a black comedy, which is more comedy than it is black.
You just changed the entire plot when you just mentioned about the dead bodies. That's
it's
nice.
Yeah, no, but it's a lot. It's actually a lot of fun. The actors were brilliant. The Greek actors, they were amazing. It was very well done. There's a twist at the end of the film, and it all happens because of this character who's called Rani, who tells her colleague, go and dig a hole at the bottom of your garden and plant a tree down there.
Good job, Rani.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one.
Rani was there. She was there. She helped.
We're talking about cinema. I just want to know that how do you see Indian cinema? Like,
Love it.
love it?
Love it. Always loved it.
Always
I was raised on it. Back in the day before, the
First
expression.
movie you ever watched?
Oh, the one that just kind of hit me here and stayed there was Yadon Ki Bharat.
Yadon Ki Bharat. Really nice.
Yeah, that was the film that even today, if I hear that song, I tear up. It's so that tells you a lot about childhood memory. So it was. We would go to the cinema. Now we're talking about the 1970s, right? We would go to the cinema, and in the Indian cinema, we were. For my parents, it was they were surrounded by the Indian community, so they were back having a slice of home, and seeing your family, your parents, feeling so comfortable and at home. That's an emotional momentum that I've kept with myself, obviously. And then, to be completely honest with you, my dad, in the UK, people used to tell my father that he looked like the Mindra.
Okay.
So my dad was he was a lovely looking and lovely person, and he looked like me. Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. So, and actually, funnily enough, we met, believe it or not, we met the actor on set in Bollywood a long time ago. It was 1993, and my dad and him were standing next to each other. And people on the set were saying, "Is that his brother? Is that his family?" So we weren't the only people that thought that he looked like Dharmendra. So Yadon Ki Bharat was my first movie. I had the chance to say it to the actor, and I told him, I said that was my favorite movie of all time. And then I thought, oh my God, I should have said Sholay, because in Sholay that was his masterpiece. Did he do anything better than that? I don't know, but he was that film for me. Himself and also, of course, Amitabh Bachchan, they were just amazing. They ticked every box. Drama, thriller, comedy.
Another movie known as Anupama, if you want to watch.
Right.
I can suggest you. That's again Dharmendra Ji starring black and white.
Oh, right, okay.
It's not even color. It's a black and white movie, Anupama. It's a really nice one. And that's a good one. I hope you like, especially the music of it. I have a special heart, place in my heart for the music of that movie. It's a nice one. You can watch that.
I will do. I will note it down. Thank you.
Veena ji, coming back to India, have you ever went back to your native place, like the place where your father and your mother belong?
Absolutely. We would stay in Nagar, which is the town. At the time, it was a village.
What was the name?
Nagar.
Is there anything else with that? Just Nagar?
Nagar. Nagar. It's close to Philor.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was
less geography knowledge.
No, but you know what? It was very small. Now it's bigger, but it's still small in comparison to the Punjabi cities. And my mom, she's from the Badala. Which is large, and it's all close to Ludhiana. Ludhiana, Jalandhar. So we would go back, and it was amazing. The first time I came to India. It was in 1975.
1975.
Yeah. So probably before your parents were born. But anyway, 1975, and I was a young kid, and it was the first time I experienced the monsoon. It was just amazing. It was like, and I would hear my grandparents saying, "Oh yeah, sooner or later the tap will be switched off," and they were like, referring to the skies. I was like, "Oh my God, somebody's got the water, the taps are on," or whatever. It was a paradise. Everything about India was just very exotic.
Let's talk about food. Right.
Go on then. Okay, this is where I get really weak. Go on.
Why is it so?
So I don't eat chili.
You don't eat chili? The butter chicken you can eat, I guess.
I can eat anything and everything, but just don't put. I mean, you can put this much chili, that much chili. Yeah, even literally, just like a grain of it. Yeah, because it just makes me cry.
It makes you cry.
Yeah.
My God. Then what about like this whole Punjabi cuisine? Because it is all about lots and lots of butter, ghee.
Butter and ghee, I'm fine with. It's the chili that kills me.
And the masalas and the Amritsari kulchas dipped.
Yeah, I know. But when your throat's on fire, then, and you're someone like me that, I have a habit of talking a lot, in case you hadn't noticed.
No, I haven't noticed.
Okay, I just thought I'd clarify that. Well, at that point you can't. You have to concentrate fully on the fact that your nose is running, your eyes are running, and that you're coughing. So I love Indian food, but I like it mild.
Like it mild. Okay. Now let's change the topic. Greek food. The reason I'm saying, because food is something that actually one of the most important part of somebody's character. It tells a lot about a person. That's what I believe. So tell me something about the food and the similarities you talked about in India and Greece. No? So do we have some similarities at the part of food and the way we treat it?
Food, definitely in terms of raw material. So same the way that you have the pulses here, dal and whatever, chickpeas. These are staple parts of Greek Mediterranean. Sorry?
Chole bhature.
Perhaps not exactly not that way, but kind of close. There's the Greek version. Dal too, fakez, it's the Greek version. A lot of similarities, but where spice is used here, the Greeks will use herb. So it's not going to be burning or hot in your mouth. It's aromatic, nice flavored. So similarities there. Greeks also eat some meats. They are meat eaters to some extent, and fish eaters as well. There's a lot of fish there. Perhaps in that sense a little bit dissimilar to Indian cuisine, which at least traditionally used to be very veg oriented. I was quite surprised here coming over right now and seeing how much meat is also served at the restaurants and stuff. Tell me if I'm right or wrong, but is there less meat served in the south?
No.
No? Okay.
South India, they have like each and every particular state out there has a particular different cuisine that they eat. If you go to Andhra, you will find different, and you won't believe the whole art of pickling. In the southern part of India, that's the only region where they'll have a mutton pickle. They'll use the whole technique of pickling with the mutton. They can cure it. Like in the West, they cure it. Yeah. And to preserve it, they make a pickle out of it, and that's something that come out from South only. So they are eating like good amount of it, handsome amount of it. And see, the things have changed around regarding the meat, because people have started shifting towards it. People have started understanding the value of it, nutritious value in each and everything. And it is actually the main thing which I believe is because people have shifted and migrated from the native places. Earlier they were living at their villages with certain rules and regulations and norms and everything. Then they came down to bigger cities where there's a nuclear family, nobody out there checking on them, and they have shifted, started eating, doing things which they wanted to do. Right. A last question, I believe, from my side, and this is I think might be a good one from my side, but you'll be the judge. You mentioned about opening the gates for investment, like getting a second home. As an individual investor, not talking about the big giants in the whole game, I'm talking about just small investor, small individuals or group, or like some small investors. What are the opportunities that they have in regards to Greece?
Greece has tremendous opportunities in terms of real estate. Okay. So I don't know how familiar you are with recent history of Greece, but I'm sure you know that there was a sovereign debt crisis that took place, and that had Greece in financial distress from about 2010 until 2019, a good 8-9 years, during which time the property prices sank. Be that for large, small, on the seafront, in the city centre, whatever the property type was. and therefore the prices have been depressed for a long time. So when you compare them, if you compare them to other Southern European and Mediterranean country real estate prices, Spain, Italy, Portugal, you're going to see that Greece is still lagging behind, despite the fact that last year was a good year and prices did increase by 15%.
Okay.
We're still almost 30% below the average for that particular Mediterranean belt. So there's a lot of opportunity in terms of real estate, and that's the reason why we came over.
Other than real estate, is there anything else?
Oh God, there's everything. There's businesses, there's hotellery, which is...
I'm talking from the perspective of a small investor, that's the thing.
Even a small investor, but why not? There are hotels, perhaps hotel is the wrong word, motel, B&Bs.
Okay.
On the islands, you can have smaller units, six, let's say, small, between a suite to a large bedrooms that are rented out to tourists, because we mustn't forget that one of the majority contributors to Greek GDP is tourism. Right? And tourism's coming from all around the world. So those are revenue makers. You know, kind of for sure that your real estate is going to bring you, income, a good ROI over the forthcoming years. There afterwards, in terms of businesses, we've got we're in discussions for individual investors that want to come over to acquire restaurants. To open. There's also a particular gentleman who's looking at opening a chain store over there.
Okay.
So
Veena ji, I mean, the whole process, is it being streamlined for the investors? Like, it is favoring them?
Absolutely. Of course, it has to be streamlined. If it's going to take years and years, then in the meantime something else will have happened. From the moment that you submit. The paperwork is submitted for the Greek Golden Visa. In 2 months, the permit is given. Okay. So obviously, what's important is to get all the work, the paperwork prepared and ready and whatnot, and to have, be it the real estate business that you want to use as your investment or any other investment that you intend to make, have that acquired or in the process of being acquired in order to start submitting your paperwork. Those that are the experts in this and that know it like a million times better than me, but they probably don't present as well as I do, right? So,
exactly.
But that's the reason why I'm here, right? So,
and they are not like Parina, those who's giving that great advice. But the name was Pari, right?
The name is Sufas and Associates Law Firm.
Okay, I was talking about something else. I was talking about the character that you played in that movie. What's the name?
Oh, no.
Rani.
Thank you.
There was Rani. They're not Rani. No, they'll not be able to present it the way you just presented.
You give me a few books and let me show you how I can present them.
Really. We're going to try that. But for the next time, when this whole movie will be out there, for the promotional thing, we have another day as well.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Veena ji, for being. Yes, exactly. I'll put the first stop over here for being. Because
that is so sweet. That's lovely.
There's actually. Generally, what happens when we interview people, when I interview people look forward to talk about the topic they are here for, or the motive they're here for, and if I want to deviate towards something else which people out there might like, for example, the food, the culture, the clothes and everything, like, okay, let's talk about the topic, let's stick to it, we are here to the advertising and all. But the way you were being open about things and the way I've started, like as I mentioned in the very starting, you have a very contagious smile and everything. Thank you so much for being like that. I think because this is almost, I'm about to leave.
We've gone on and on and on.
No, I'm about to leave the premises, and I feel that okay. But after this interview, I can say I've done really good for the day.
Oh,
it is discounted. Thank you so much for being that person and all the information that you shared, specifically for the small investors, because the people who are going to watch, they are actually those are looking forward to invest. They have a nice opportunity and they're going to look into that only. Thank you so much for each and everything. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very, very much. And obviously, if there's any place I can leave details of Sufas and Associates Law Firm, I would love to do that, seeing that I'm here. And because they're brilliant people that I collaborate and work with. And then I have one request.
Please.
Can I say hello to somebody? Somebody's, yeah?
Yeah, please,
okay,
please,
just tell
go
me where I
ahead.
have to. So hi everybody, I'm coming home. So I'll be home tomorrow. And this is to my husband Manolis. Hi, Yesu Manoli. And then I have 3 children. To my daughter who's currently studying, she's studying and working PhD scientist in Barcelona. Danita, her name is Danita Maria Tzotzolaki. Yasu Danitullah, from your mom. Alexandros is my son who's actually he works in film production. And he's got a doctor series that's coming out at the end of this month. So Yasu Alexandre. And my last son, my third, the baby of the family who's in Glasgow. And he's studying mechanical engineering. Stefane, Yasu, Mama, I'm here, I'm coming home. There you go.
That was so sweet.
But I tell them I'm coming home because they're like, oh, WhatsApping me, what not.
That's so sweet, and I think this interview will be out when you will be there with them, watching it with them. It is going to take a bit time.
Okay.
No issues, but that's fine. You can be like, okay, I have something special after the whole interview for you people. Watch it, I'm leaving.
Sit down and watch. It only takes about 4 hours, but right at the end you're mentioned.
And I won't be here waiting for this whole reactions. Thank you so much, Veena ji, for each and everything. It is a pleasure.
Thank you. Lovely to meet you too. Thank you.
So the way I've mentioned in the very starting of this whole interview that she actually have a very, very contagious smile and a personality, and I hope this whole interview established the whole thing that I wasn't lying. And the way she mentioned about Greece as an open market for Indians and for like the people all across the globe to invest there. I'll put all the things, all the information in the description. Go out and check it out. And if you want to have a second home out there on the coastline, that's the place. Till then, take care of yourself, be nice to people around, and keep watching MSTV.